They called it the unquenchable, indestructible stone. They called it asbestos. Unaffected by fire, unchanged by weather, untouched by time's dark captains, rust, rot, and decay, asbestos possesses rare qualities for which it stands alone. So fine are the individual asbestos fibers that it is only through the eye of the powerful electron microscope that they can be properly studied. Even when magnified 31,000 times, they appear delicate, gracefully hiding the fact that they are incredibly strong, stronger than many types of steel wire of the same thickness. At the same time, they are remarkably flexible and highly resistant to most chemicals. Man has never been able to duplicate their fibrous properties for commercial use. The most commercially useful variety of asbestos, called chrysotile, has been found in widely separated parts of the world. Only Canada, Africa, and Russia have abundant quantities. Less common types of asbestos, such as chrysotolite and amosite, are mined mainly in Africa. The world's largest asbestos mine is the Jeffrey Mine at Asbestos, Quebec, so named for nature's magic mineral. Most deposits have a 10 to 25-year life, but this one has been yielding for more than half a century, and even under the pressure of growing demands, it is expected to produce for another 100 years. The more than 500,000 tons of top-grade chrysotile fiber extracted yearly provide nearly a third of the world's total supply. The mining methods used in the vast open pit portion of this mine are typical of modern surface mining operations practically everywhere. By drilling and blasting and digging, it has grown. But pit mining is not the only means of extracting asbestos-bearing ore from its deposits. Another productive way is called block caving. In open pit mining, the asbestos ore is removed from the top of the deposit. In block caving, the ore is taken from underground. As practiced here, each section to be caved is 200 feet square by 400 feet high. Some distance away, a main shaft is sunk from the surface to a depth below the area to be caved. From the main shaft, a tunnel called the haulage drift is driven in the direction of the section to be caved. Then other tunnels, called crosscuts, are driven under the area to be caved and at right angles to the haulage drift. The crosscuts and the haulage drift form a network of underground arteries, much like the streets of a city. Through them run the mine cars. Now another system of tunnels, called slusher drifts, are driven directly below the section to be caved, above and at right angles to the crosscuts. The floors, walls, and roofs of all slusher drifts are heavily reinforced with concrete. Through the roof of the slusher drifts, draw points 17 feet apart are pushed up into the section to be caved. The ore body above the draw points is now drilled and blasted, and the asbestos-laden rock tumbles down through the draw points to the floor of the slusher drift. Now the crab-like slusher drags it to a point over a crosscut, where it falls into the 10-ton mine cars waiting below. The beginning of a long journey. Now crude ore, soon useful asbestos fiber. All traffic is controlled by a central dispatcher through two-way radio and an electric signal system. At the tipple near the main shaft, the cars are dumped, two at a time. The ore roars down a giant chute to the primary crusher on a lower level, and the crude asbestos rock gets its first treatment underground. From the crusher, it will go downward into bins and then a loading pocket, from where it'll be hoisted in 12.5-ton mouthfuls by fast-moving skip buckets that shoot it to the surface. Working underground, the miners utilize the most advanced mining methods, using fast boring drills. In their many different jobs, they are protected and guided by the highest safety standards. Light, power, ventilation, structure, all are important in the daily production of thousands of tons of ore. All are important in protecting the men who do the block caving. From beneath the earth and from out of the open pit, asbestos-bearing ore, crushed and dried, comes by way of conveyors to the dry rock storage shed, where it is housed in great quantities until needed at the mill. 12 stories tall, this is the world's largest asbestos mill, equipped with the most modern refining machinery. Remarkably dust-free, performing every operation of an asbestos mill on a grand scale with extreme precision. Into its air-conditioned immensity, the asbestos fiber comes to be stripped from the mother rock in a series of operations basically typical of those at many asbestos mills. The rock processed and reprocessed to yield the precious mineral asbestos. On a series of vibrating screens, waste particles of rock are shaken from the fiber. Then, sucked up into giant aspirators, it is further husked of its impurities. In this carefully calculated process, the fiber is refined again and again. Finally, to be tested and graded according to its length under quality control standards which demand the best. From crude ore to refined fiber through the magic of man's ceaseless ingenuity. Now, packed and ready for shipment to hundreds of different points around the globe. What do you do with the fiber when you get it? How does it contribute to better living? How does it enhance our daily lives? Let's start with our homes. The attractive roof, which protects us against fire and weather, will never rot or decay because the shingles are made of asbestos and cement. Cement could not do the job alone. A cement shingle would break easily without the reinforcing qualities of asbestos. But when asbestos fibers are added, it becomes strong and tough, amazingly so. Strong enough and tough enough so that it can even be made into large, flexible sheets like these. When these fireproof sheets of asbestos and cement are used as the exterior wall finish of our homes, we enjoy the permanence of stone combined with the beauty of vertical accent, so desirable in contemporary architecture. In traditional architecture, colorful asbestos sidewall shingles give us the same permanence and freedom from upkeep expense. Not only new houses, but old houses as well can have the same benefits with remarkable improvement in appearance.